My name is Willy and I'm the chief engineer and co-founder of UBB, and I like to tell you a little bit about my story, how I grew up. I was kind of, I grew up with beer from my early age of childhood because my father used to be a coal miner in the middle of Germany, and so my upbringing was rather poor but always plenty to drink, even though when I was little. So I remember vividly three things during my childhood. My father, again, as I said, he was a coal miner, and with his friends they gambled a lot. They gambled the little money they earned. They drank a lot of beer, but they made their own beer because the money wasn't there, and there was little food. One of my first experiences, and I still have that sensation in my nose when I smell good beer, because the beer they brewed was apparently very good. Simple but good. So those years were penetrated with beer and little food. My school years weren't very successful, so I was kicked out of school at the end of year 9 and I was left to my own devices. So I needed to find something in my life which makes sense and which gives me a home. So my father gave me the option, after having failed at school, to become a chef. So I took on a chef apprenticeship in Germany and then later on in Switzerland, and I worked in a number of top-notch hotels and restaurants, did my master's certificate, but then after some time I realized I need social life, and I changed everything, went back to school, did my HSC and my university entry, and learned a lot about mechanical engineering. And at this point in time I was already tinkering with, well, actually from the age of 16 years onwards, I was tinkering with mopeds and then later on with motorcycles, and I took a strong liking in racing motorcycles. So this is what I did. I raced not for Ducati, it was private what I did, but I always used to race Ducatis and made them better and better and better, and never won a race, unfortunately, but the fun was more important. But through this I found kind of my call or my vocation, that I wanted to get heavily involved in mechanical engineering. So I took a lot of courses, university courses and evening courses, to understand the workings, the physics, the chemistry of mechanical items, particularly machines. So from there on I started to build my own little private business, helped other people, friends particularly, building their motorcycles and making them faster, better, stronger. And I began to restore also old motorcycles. So then later on, 15-20 years later, I owned a pretty big little museum, mainly everything until 1952, so only Harleys and all the side valves and Indian motorcycles. I have an apartment in Vienna and a house close to Sydney, so I'd always traveled between, and always I had a stopover in Bangkok, and I met up with a gentleman who is an entrepreneur and a genius in setting up businesses. So I met him, and he asked me the most important question when I proposed my ideas to him how to build a different brewery. He said, do you want to have a hobby or a business? So we decided to have a business, and this is where we are at today.